Everything in your life, how you think, how you act, and ultimately the results you achieve comes down to one key factor: habit. The small, repeated actions you take every single day shape your destiny more than talent, education, or even opportunity. Most people believe success arrives in a flash, one big break, one lucky moment, one golden opportunity. But the truth is, success is built in the quiet details. It's built in what you do when no one is watching. It's built in what you do repeatedly. There is one habit, one shift in how you approach each day that has the power to change everything for you. And I don't say that lightly. I've studied thousands of the most successful men and women around the world. I've observed what separates high performers from the average, what makes one person rise while others stall. And again, it comes back to this: the habit of taking full control of your time and your energy. You see, most people are not failing because they're lazy or unmotivated. They're stuck in patterns they don't even recognize. They wake up, go through the motions, and react to life instead of designing it. They waste precious hours on distractions. They let their emotions decide how the day will go. They allow other people, external noise, and passing moods to dictate their focus. And they wonder why nothing changes. But there's a better way. There is a single habit that separates those who win consistently from those who spin their wheels. And it's not complex. It doesn't require you to be special. It doesn't depend on circumstances. This habit, the habit of control, is available to everyone, but most people never commit to it. This habit is simple. Every single day you take full control. You don't wait for the day to happen to you, you shape it. You don't surrender your focus, you direct it. You don't wait for motivation, you move forward with discipline. And this one change, it shifts everything. When you begin to take full control, you operate with purpose. You stop wasting time on meaningless tasks. You stop being pulled in 100 directions. You start making real progress, fast. Suddenly you feel different. You think differently. You act with intention. You move with power. While the world reacts, you create. While others hesitate, you execute. And this, my friend, is the foundation of every breakthrough I've ever experienced and every success story I've ever studied. If there's one thing I want you to take from this message, it's this: control your time and your energy, and you control your future. This is the habit that changes everything. And we're going to walk through exactly how to build it, step by step. Let me take you back to a time when my life looked very different, because I want you to see that wherever you are right now, I've been there too. I didn't grow up with money. I didn't have connections. I didn't even finish high school on time. In my early 20s, I was broke, frustrated, and completely out of control. I bounced from job to job, barely scraping by. I had big dreams, of course. I wanted to be successful, to live well, to make a difference. But I had no structure, no strategy, no direction. I remember one day in particular, I was sitting in a small rundown apartment. Bills were stacked on the table. My bank account was overdrawn. I had just lost another job. And I sat there thinking, what is wrong with me? Why can't I get ahead? I blamed the economy. I blamed bad luck. I blamed everything except the real source, me. The truth hit hard. I wasn't failing because the world was against me. I was failing because I had no control over myself, my time, my habits, my focus. I had goals, but I wasn't doing the things that actually moved me toward them. I wanted success, but I wasn't living in a way that deserved it. That was my turning point. It wasn't dramatic or public. There was no applause. It was quiet, it was private, and it was powerful. I made a decision that day that would change everything. I would stop operating on hope and start operating with discipline. I would take control of my time. I would plan my days. I would read, study, work, improve. I would build habits that supported the life I wanted instead of sabotaging it. At first, it was hard. I had to break old patterns. I had to learn how to focus. I had to teach myself how to delay gratification, how to say no to distractions, how to stick to a plan. But over time, something amazing happened. I started to see results. Small wins at first, showing up on time, completing tasks, finishing books, then bigger ones, more income, better jobs, new opportunities. Eventually, I began building businesses, traveling the world, speaking to thousands. But it all started with that one private decision, to take control of my life through my habits. You see, there's a popular saying, you don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your habits. And I found this to be absolutely true. Goals are important. They give you direction, but it's your habits that do the real work. It's your habits that determine whether you succeed or fail. Because in the end, success is not something you pursue. It's something you become by what you do daily. I want you to know, whatever results you're getting right now, they're not permanent. They're not final. They're simply a reflection of your current habits. Change your habits and you change your life, just like I did, just like you can. And the first habit, the foundation of it all, is taking back control. When you do that, everything begins to change. One of the biggest revelations I've had over the course of my life and career is this: most people aren't actually living, they're merely reacting. Day in and day out, they're operating on autopilot. They're not making conscious decisions. They're not pursuing clear goals. They're simply responding to whatever happens to them. And they wonder why they feel stuck, why progress feels so slow, why life doesn't seem to be moving in the direction they hoped it would. You see, the average person wakes up, reaches for their phone, checks the news, checks email, checks social media, and immediately their day is being driven by outside forces. From the moment they open their eyes, they're reacting to the world instead of setting the tone for the day themselves. And the problem with that is, when you're always reacting, you lose your ability to create. You're no longer in control. You're just keeping up. Most people don't struggle because they lack talent. They don't struggle because they don't want success. They struggle because they live in a constant state of distraction and indecision. They allow emotions to drive their choices. They allow the noise of the world to drown out the clarity they need. They postpone decisions, avoid discomfort, and hope that somehow, one day, things will get better. But nothing improves by chance. Everything improves by choice and by action. And here's what's really costing people: wasted time. Most people don't have a time problem. They have a focus problem. They say they're busy, but they're not effective. They say they're working, but they're spinning their wheels. They mistake motion for progress. They spend hours reacting to emails, messages, problems. Yet at the end of the day, they haven't moved any closer to their real goals. Emotions play a big role in this too. When you don't have a clear plan, your emotions become the default decision maker. You act based on how you feel, not based on what matters. If you feel tired, you skip the gym. If you feel overwhelmed, you avoid the project. If you feel uncertain, you delay the decision. But here's the truth: if you only act when you feel like it, you will never be consistent. And if you're not consistent, you will never be successful. And let's not forget indecision. Indecision is the silent killer of progress. Every time you hesitate, you lose momentum. Every time you put off a choice, you allow confusion to take root. And confusion drains energy faster than hard work ever will. Success loves speed, it loves clarity, it loves decisive action. When you lack that, you stay stuck in the same place, wondering why nothing's working. But here's the good news: this cycle can be broken. It doesn't require a massive overhaul of your life. It doesn't require a big opportunity or a lucky break. It starts with one habit, one change in how you approach your day, a habit that takes you out of reaction and into creation, a habit that puts you back in control, a habit that turns wasted time into productive time, scattered energy into focused effort, and wishful thinking into real, measurable progress. In just a moment, I'm going to share with you exactly what that habit is and how to implement it. But first, I want you to reflect on this. Are you operating with intention? Or are you drifting through each day on autopilot? The difference between those two approaches is the difference between a life of fulfillment and a life of frustration. And once you see the power of this habit, you'll never want to go back to living by reaction again. Here it is, the habit that changes everything. The one habit that, if developed and practiced daily, can transform your entire life, your income, your confidence, and your future. It's not glamorous, and it's not complicated. In fact, it's one of the simplest concepts you'll ever learn. But make no mistake, its impact is profound. The habit is this: take full control of your time and energy every single day, no exceptions. When I say take control, I mean that you wake up and you decide how your day will unfold. You don't leave it to chance. You don't hand it over to your inbox, your phone, or your emotions. You don't let the world set your agenda. You set it yourself. You get clear on your top priorities. You block time for your most important tasks. You protect your energy from distractions. You don't wait to feel like it. You move with purpose, whether you feel like it or not. This habit is the foundation of all high performance. Why? Because it gives you control. And when you are in control of your time, you are in control of your outcomes. When you take control of your energy, you decide where it goes, toward your goals, not toward what drains you. That's how discipline is built. That's how focus is sharpened. That's how momentum is created. Think of anyone you admire, anyone who is consistently winning in business, fitness, finance, or personal growth, and you will find this habit at the core of their success. They plan their day before it begins. They decide what matters most, and they execute relentlessly. They are ruthless about eliminating time wasters. They don't wait for motivation. They move, and the motivation follows. They are in command of their day, not at the mercy of it. Let me give you an example. One of my clients was a talented entrepreneur with a brilliant mind and a big vision, but he was stuck. Every day he would start with the best intentions, but by noon, he was buried in emails, calls, interruptions. At the end of each day, he felt exhausted, frustrated, and off track. When we implemented one change, the habit of scheduling his day the night before and committing to 3 non-negotiable tasks, his productivity doubled. His confidence surged, and within 6 months, his business revenue increased by over 60%. Another example, a young woman who wanted to lose weight, write a book, and build her business at the same time. She kept trying to do everything at once, reacting to whatever came up. It was chaos. We installed one habit: block her mornings for her most important personal goal, protect her afternoons for deep work, and shut off distractions completely during those times. In less than a year, she finished her book, lost 25 pounds, and started earning twice what she did the year before. That's the power of this habit. It doesn't just make you more productive, it transforms who you are. Because when you consistently take control of your time and energy, you build the identity of someone who is disciplined, focused, and unstoppable. And that identity creates results that last. Now let me be clear, this habit is not about perfection. It's about intention. It's not about squeezing 20 tasks into your day. It's about identifying the few things that truly matter and doing them with relentless focus. It's about mastering your morning, owning your time, and building the muscle of daily discipline, one decision at a time. This is the habit that will separate you from the masses. This is the habit that will allow you to create results most people only dream about. Because once you take control of your time and energy, you take control of your life. And when that happens, everything begins to change. One of the biggest myths in personal development, the idea that you need to feel motivated to take action, has probably cost more people their dreams than failure ever has. If you're waiting to feel ready, if you're hoping for a spark of inspiration before you move, you're already behind. Let me tell you the truth. Motivation is not the cause of action. It is the result. Action creates motivation, not the other way around. We've all had those mornings where we wake up and feel nothing. No excitement, no drive, no clarity, just the weight of another day. And what do most people do in those moments? They wait, they scroll, they delay, they tell themselves, I'll start when I feel better. I'll move when I feel ready. But that moment rarely comes, because what they're waiting for is a feeling. And feelings are fleeting. They come and go with the wind. They are unreliable companions on the road to success. Successful people, those who create real, lasting results, don't rely on motivation. They rely on momentum. And momentum starts with a decision. I will act, no matter how I feel. It's a commitment to movement, even when you're tired, even when it's uncomfortable, even when your mind is offering every excuse in the book. And here's the irony. The moment you begin to move, everything starts to shift. Energy rises, clarity sharpens, confidence returns. You start to feel motivated, but only because you acted first. This is one of the reasons why the habit of taking control of your time and energy is so powerful. When you commit to daily action, when you wake up with a plan, when you move into your day with structure and purpose, you eliminate the need for motivation altogether. You don't need to feel like it because you've already decided you're going to do it. You've built your day to support your goals, and now your actions create the emotional state you used to wait for. I've seen this play out in my own life and in the lives of the thousands of people I've worked with. The first few days of any new habit are hard. There's resistance, doubt, discomfort. But as you keep showing up day after day, something incredible begins to happen. Your mind starts to adapt. Your identity begins to shift. What once felt difficult becomes routine, and what once required willpower becomes a habit. Think of it like pushing a car from a dead stop. At first, it takes everything you've got. It barely moves. But once it starts to roll, it gets easier. Momentum builds. And before long, the car is moving with speed, and now it's harder to stop than it was to start. That's how momentum works in your life. Once you start, the effort decreases, the results increase, and your belief in yourself expands. That's why I tell people, don't wait. Don't wait for perfect timing. Don't wait to feel ready. Don't wait for motivation. Because motivation is not the key, it's the reward. It comes after action, not before it. If you build your life around waiting for motivation, you will live in a constant state of delay. But if you build your life around discipline, you will live in a constant state of progress. So the next time you don't feel like it, move anyway. When your alarm goes off and you want to hit snooze, move anyway. When the task in front of you feels boring or difficult or overwhelming, move anyway. Because every time you act in the absence of motivation, you strengthen your will, you build your discipline, and you fuel the fire of momentum that will carry you to your goals. And here's what I can promise you. If you practice this long enough, you will become the kind of person who doesn't need to be motivated. You'll be driven by habit, by purpose, by identity. And that's the most powerful motivation of all, the one that comes from knowing who you are and what you're committed to becoming. If you want to win the day, you must begin by planning it. There's no shortcut, no exception, no alternative. Every successful day begins with a successful plan. And this isn't just a nice idea. It's a foundational habit that top performers live by. When your day is structured, your mind is calm, your focus is sharp, and your results are inevitable. If you're waking up without a clear plan, you are already at a disadvantage. You're handing over your most valuable asset, your time, to chance, to distractions, to other people's agendas. But when you wake up with intention, when your day is mapped out before the chaos begins, you are already in control. That control becomes confidence. That confidence becomes momentum. One of the most powerful planning strategies I teach is time blocking. This simply means assigning specific time slots to your most important activities. You don't just make a to-do list, you make a when-to-do list, because tasks without time are just wishes. Time blocking forces clarity. It asks you, when exactly are you going to do what matters most? And when you answer that question, you move from good intentions to committed action. Start with your top priorities. What are the 2 or 3 things that, if completed today, would move your life and business forward? Those are your critical results areas. Block time for them first. Then protect that time like your life depends on it, because your future does. This brings us to what I call the first hour rule. The first hour of your day is your most valuable hour. It sets the tone, the pace, and the standard for everything that follows. If you start your day reacting, checking emails, scrolling social media, responding to messages, you're letting the outside world dictate your focus. But if you start your day executing your most important tasks, you build momentum that carries you through the entire day. I personally begin every morning with quiet planning, goal review, and focused work. I look at my goals, I visualize the outcomes I want, and then I dive into a high priority task before the world wakes up and starts pulling at me. It's in that quiet discipline that massive results are born. It's where clarity sharpens, confidence grows, and distractions lose their grip. Planning also reduces stress. Most people feel overwhelmed not because they have too much to do, but because they don't have a clear structure for doing it. They keep everything in their head, reacting as things come up, constantly shifting priorities. But a well-structured day gives you peace. You know what needs to be done, when it needs to be done, and how it fits into the bigger picture. And here's something important to remember. Your plan doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to be clear. Don't fall into the trap of overthinking your schedule. Start simple. Set your top 3 priorities, block time for them, eliminate distractions, review your progress daily, and refine as you go. Success is not about perfection. It's about direction and momentum. Winners don't rely on memory. They rely on systems. They don't start their day wondering what to do. They know exactly what matters and when it will happen. That's why they move faster, produce more, and feel less stress. Planning is the lever that multiplies effort. It turns ideas into action. It turns intention into execution. And it turns ordinary people into extraordinary achievers. So let me say it again. Every successful day begins with a successful plan. Before you go to bed tonight, map out tomorrow. Set your priorities, block your time, design your focus. Then when the morning comes, don't think, just follow the plan. That habit alone can elevate your entire life. If you want to move faster in life, you don't need to do more. You need to eliminate more. One of the biggest lies we've been sold is that success is about addition. That if we just add another strategy, another tool, another book, we'll finally break through. But the truth is, most people aren't held back by what they lack. They're held back by what they're carrying that no longer serves them. Let me be blunt. You're doing too much. You're saying yes to too many things. You're trying to juggle too many priorities, and it's slowing you down. High achievers don't try to do everything. They eliminate ruthlessly. They cut the noise. They simplify their path. And that's why they move faster, than everyone else. Every time you say yes to something that doesn't matter, you're saying no to something that does. Every time you give attention to distractions, you drain the energy you need for your goals. And if you keep doing that, if you keep letting unimportant things steal your time, you will never create the life you're capable of. That's why one of the most powerful tools in productivity isn't a to-do list, it's a not to-do list. Yes, a list of things you must stop doing, things that steal your focus, dilute your energy, and sabotage your success. It's time to take inventory of your day and ask, what am I doing that adds zero value to my goals? Then cut it, no excuses. Start with the obvious. Scrolling social media without purpose, saying yes to meetings with no agenda, replying to every message immediately, multitasking when deep work is needed. These aren't just bad habits, they're progress killers. And yet most people defend them like they're sacred. But I need to stay connected. But what if I miss something? You won't. What you're missing is your life passing you by while you react to everyone else's. You need boundaries. You need non-negotiables. And most of all, you need the courage to say no. No to distractions, no to time wasters, no to people who drain your energy, because every yes to something that doesn't matter is a no to the future you're trying to build. Take a look at the most successful people you admire. They're not busier than you. They're more focused. They don't have more time. They just use their time better. And a big reason for that is they've mastered the art of elimination. Today, make your not-to-do list. Write down 5 things that you do regularly that are not aligned with your goals. Then eliminate them cold. Cut them out of your schedule, your routine, and your environment. You don't need to taper off. You need to make a decision. This is what high performance looks like. Not more chaos, but more clarity. Not more hustle, but more intention. And clarity comes from subtraction, not addition. It's time to simplify your life, to stop juggling and start focusing, to stop reacting and start eliminating. If you want to accelerate your progress, you must eliminate the excess. It's not easy, but it is necessary. And once you do it, you'll wonder why you didn't do it sooner. Elimination is liberation. When you remove what doesn't serve you, you create space for what does. That space becomes energy. That energy becomes speed. And that speed becomes success. So stop trying to do everything. Do what matters. Eliminate the rest. That's how you accelerate. Discipline is the bridge between dreams and reality. It's what connects the desire you feel in your heart with the results you want to see in your life. And let me tell you this, everyone wants success, but not everyone is willing to pay the price. That price isn't talent or luck or opportunity. The price is discipline. Discipline means doing what needs to be done, especially when you don't feel like it. That's the real test. Not how you perform on your best days, but how you show up on your worst. Anyone can be consistent when they're motivated. But it's the disciplined person who moves forward even when they're tired, uninspired, and uncomfortable. That's the person who wins. You see, the average person spends most of their life chasing the feeling of motivation. They wait for the perfect mood, the perfect time, the perfect alignment of stars before they act. But the truth is, if you wait for perfect, you'll wait forever. Winners don't wait. They don't negotiate with their excuses. They decide, and then they follow through, day after day, whether they feel like it or not. Discipline is a muscle, and like any muscle, it grows stronger every time you use it. Each time you choose discipline over comfort, you build momentum, and momentum, once it gets going, is a force nothing can stop. The hard part is the beginning. The first few days, the first few weeks, when the old habits are still trying to pull you back into your comfort zone. But if you push through that initial resistance, if you stay the course, something amazing happens. Discipline becomes identity. You stop needing to push yourself. It becomes who you are. You're no longer the person who tries to stay focused. You're the person who is focused. You're no longer chasing habits. You've become the kind of person who lives them. And that shift from effort to identity is the point where results start to compound. I've seen it over and over again. Olympic athletes who train 6 days a week, even on holidays, because discipline is their standard. Entrepreneurs who show up every day before the sun rises, not because they feel like it, but because that's what excellence requires. Authors who write 500 words a day, even when the inspiration is gone. They don't rely on motivation, they rely on discipline. Elon Musk once said, when something is important enough, you do it even if the odds are not in your favor. That's discipline. Not just doing what's easy or convenient, but what's necessary, even when it's hard. especially when it's hard. What kind of person do you want to be? Do you want to be someone who lives at the mercy of how they feel, who starts and stops, who never truly commits? Or do you want to be the person who gets up and does the work every day, no matter what? Because you've decided that success is no longer optional. Discipline is the separator. It's what builds character, confidence, and results. And once you master it, there is no limit to what you can achieve. You don't need to feel ready. You just need to decide. Then show up again and again until discipline becomes your new normal. And when that happens, your results will be inevitable. There's a common trap I see people fall into, and it's one of the biggest killers of potential: mistaking motion for action, and even worse, mistaking action for execution. Let me explain the difference, because understanding this could be the turning point in your performance and productivity. Motion is when you're busy. You're planning, organizing, researching, getting ready. You feel productive, but nothing is actually being accomplished. You're in movement, but not in progress. Think of a hamster wheel. It's spinning, but it's not going anywhere. Action takes things a step further. You might start doing the work, writing that first page, making a call, hitting the gym. Action feels better because now you're engaging, not just preparing. But action by itself isn't enough either. Execution is where everything changes. Execution means you finish, you follow through. You don't just start a workout, you complete it. You don't just set a goal, you hit it. Execution is the habit of completing what matters most. It's not about being busy, it's about being effective. And the people who master this, they win every time. Now here's the truth most won't tell you. The most successful people in any field aren't doing more things, they're doing fewer things better. They have learned the power of focus. Focus is the ultimate multiplier. It turns scattered effort into concentrated power. It transforms average effort into exponential results. When you focus, truly focus, you eliminate noise. You cut through the distractions. You don't waste mental energy on decisions that don't matter. You know what your top priority is, and you do it. That's execution. And in today's world, where everyone is being pulled in 100 directions, the ability to focus on one thing at a time is a superpower. Think about it this way. If you try to dig 10 wells a foot deep, you'll never find water. But if you dig one well 10 feet deep, you strike gold. The same principle applies to your work, your goals, your business. Most people are spread too thin. They start a little here, dabble a little there, and never go deep enough to get results. Winners pick one or two critical priorities and execute relentlessly until they're complete. And it's not just about doing this once. The magic happens when you do it consistently. Daily execution builds momentum, and momentum compounds. One successful day leads to another. One powerful week becomes a breakthrough month. Before you know it, you've created a rhythm, a flow state, where progress becomes your new baseline. You don't need to be extraordinary to execute at a high level. You just need discipline, focus, and commitment to your priorities. You need to stop chasing every opportunity and start finishing what matters. You need to decide what your goal is, break it into clear tasks, block out distractions, and then execute. Are you in motion? Are you just taking action? Or are you truly executing? Are you finishing what you start? Are you doing what matters most, even when it's uncomfortable? Because the gap between average and elite isn't talent. It's execution. Everyone has goals. Few follow through. If you become the person who does, you will rise faster than you ever imagined. Remember, success is not about what you start, it's about what you finish. And finishing starts with focus. Now, we've come to the most important part of this journey. You've heard the ideas, felt the shift, and perhaps even glimpsed a version of yourself operating at a higher level, more focused, more disciplined, more in control, but none of it will matter unless you make one final life-changing decision. You must decide that you will no longer drift through your days hoping things will get better. Decide that you are done with living on autopilot. Decide that from this moment forward, you will take full control of your time and energy, because when you do that, you take control of your future. Everything in your life, your health, your finances, your relationships, your self-respect, rises and falls based on how you use your time and where you direct your energy. If you waste your hours on distractions, hesitation, and emotional reactions, then mediocrity is inevitable. But if you take ownership of every day, if you decide to live with purpose, clarity, and intention, then success becomes not just possible, but guaranteed. And yes, it starts with a single habit. Not a grand, flashy strategy, not a complicated routine. Just one decision that from now on, your time is sacred, your energy is valuable, and you are going to protect them like your life depends on it, because in many ways, it does. So here is your challenge. Write down where you want to go. Be specific. Then ask yourself, what would the best version of me do to get there? And start doing that every single day, not when you feel like it, not when it's convenient, but no matter what. Eliminate distractions, cut out excuses, create your daily plan, execute it, and don't stop. Because if you stay committed to this one habit, controlling your time and energy, you will build a life most people only dream about. This isn't theory. This is real. This is how people like you turn struggle into success, hesitation into momentum, and potential into performance. Not by waiting, not by hoping, but by deciding. So today I leave you with this. Decide where you want to go, take control, and never look back.